are detractors of Allah's apostle, Mr. phuh. He tried to get you to think that Muhammad must have been Satan-possessed, or at least demon-possessed, for writing a book, the Quran, that has Surah 9:1 in it, which allow Muslims freedom from obligation when it comes to peace treaties with non-Muslims, and in Quran 9:5 and Quran 9:29, kill those non-Muslims, including Christians and Jews, people of the book, if they don't submit to Allah's will and become Muslims, unless according to Quran 9:6, they are people who are without knowledge, then are able to actually get safe passage. They also say Muhammad had to be Satan-possessed for writing Quran 16:106 and 3:28, which not only allow a Muslim to lie and perform al-taqiyya, which is deceit, deception, and lying to spread Islam, if he feels his life is threatened, but according to Quran 3:28, force the Muslim to lie about being friends of Christians and Jews. Muslims like to say it just means helpers or allies. If that Muslim doesn't want to, quote, get no help from Allah and be cut off from Allah. In other words, since a Muslim is forced into hypocrisy around Christians and Jews by following the command of Quran 3:28, there are detractors of Muhammad claiming that this means Muhammad had to be Satan-possessed. But you want to know something? In spite of Quran 9:1-6, Quran 9:29, Quran 16:106, and the hypocrisy making Quran 3:28, I really don't think Muhammad was Satan-possessed. For one thing, if Muhammad was Satan-possessed, why did he equate the Bible with the book given to Musa? Well, the book given to Musa, the Torah. Why did he equate the Quran with the Zahir, the book of Psalms? Why did he equate the Injil, well, the Gospel, with the Quran? In other words, why would someone Satan-filled say that the Quran is not only equal with the entire Bible, and confirms the Bible, but say the Bible confirms the Quran when we know, well, when he should have known that the Bible doesn't confirm the Quran at all? Why would the Quran be able to confirm the Torah, the Zahir, and the Injil, and say that they are not only equal with the Quran, but can be used equally as guidance? Don't you think Satan would have realized that the Quran in no way matches or even is equal with the Bible, that there was such a thing as the Dead Sea Scrolls that have been in hiding since 250 BC, that in their meaning match perfectly with all the Torahs and Book of Psalms, well, Zahirs, that we have in our midst in this day and age? That even the Injil, the Gospel, hasn't changed since the writing of the Quran, before the Quran, and come to think of it, none of the Bible has changed before nor after the writing of the Quran, and can be perfectly verified with the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls, completely contradicting all that which is in the Quran, making it a complete lie about confirmation? I mean, thanks to the Dead Sea Scrolls, which date back to 250 BC and contain all the Torah and Zahir, the Psalms, we see that absolutely nothing can be confirmed, that there can be no confirmation between the Quran and the Holy Bible. This, to me, is a major proof that Allah's apostle, Mr. phuh, couldn't have had Satan talking through him, nor even controlling him. And another thing, don't you all think that if Satan was controlling Muhammad would have realized that the sun doesn't swim in an orbit in its course around the earth, doesn't run it to a resting place, that the sun doesn't set in a murky spring, and contrary to Sahih Bukhari hadith, the sun doesn't have to ask permission of Allah to rise again after prostrating under the throne of Allah? Wouldn't Satan have realized that it's the earth that needs to ask permission of Allah to keep on rotating? Seems to me that Satan would also realize that the sky isn't a canopy held up by invisible pillars, that he wouldn't be attacked by stars in the Earth's atmosphere, the lowest heaven, that no shooting meteorites at him would occur if he tried to, quote, leave the zone of the Earth, that Allah's heaven didn't need shooting stars to guard against spying jinn. Besides, wouldn't Satan have realized that? Would have realized later that when non-Muslim American astronauts and atheistic Soviet scientists would one day leave the zone of the earth to the point of even going to the moon, which according to the Quran is in the midst of the seven heavens, no stars in the canopy held up by invisible pillars would try to burn them with fire by shooting meteorites at them? I mean, if you read the Quran, it really sounds like Muhammad saw shooting stars as missiles to guard heaven every time jinn or evil ones, which would be Satan, would try to get into heaven and try to spy on Allah. We now know that there is no canopy held up by invisible pillars, that if we saw a part of the sky falling, we, as infidels, wouldn't say, it's only clouds, as the Quran says we would, but instead say, holy crap, the sky is a canopy over our heads. I mean, we now know that you can leave the zone of the earth without being attacked by stars in the lowest heaven, which, according to Islam, is the earth's atmosphere, and that we don't need authority from Allah to achieve such freedom from the earth to pass through at least 3 zones, since the moon is supposed to be in the 3rd heaven. That all we really need is just a strong rocket and a well put together space capsule. Being so the case, this is proof, to me at least, that Muhammad, contrary to his detractors, wasn't Satan possessed at all. Well, what do you think? Let me know.